Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Warm welcome to a virtual panel discussion on business continuity and planning post-COVID, sponsored by Beam Software. First of all, thank you very much. As you know, we have been doing these kinds of webinars, events to create a strong kind of thought leadership amongst the ecosystems, including the CXOs, channel partners and sponsors, and this is one of those. This is very apt if you look at the situation. COVID is not over yet, and business continuity is always a challenge, and it is much more critical at this point of time. Your data is very critical to you, to your organization, and data is lying everywhere in your PC, in your phone, in your offices, manufacturing facilities, storage devices, so on and so forth. So creating a strategy, planning around that, having a right solution, right approach is very critical. Today, I have invited very senior leaders from the industry. To start with, Mr. Satyanarayan Kasturi, who is the head of IT group, Ashok Piramal Group. Mr. Rishi Agarwal, Director IT, Concentrix India. Mr. Ajay Sawant is a popular man in the channel fraternity. He is Managing Director, Orient Technologies. Mr. Venkat Murthy, who writes himself as prime mover for 22 by 7 solutions. Of course, I'll be asking one small bit of question about why he's writing about prime mover than writing as a CEO or managing director. Last but not the least, we have got Mr. Amrish Karnik, Director, Channel Sales Alliances, India and SARC Beam Software. So just give you a broader perspective of the agenda. It's very small one and 15 minutes of time. We have got panel discussion around the topic of BCP channel challenges post-COVID. Uh, Plus, we have a question answer session. Post that, we have a lucky draw also. Lucky draw is a Amazon Echo. We have a poll, a small poll understanding the preparedness of the CIOs or the CXOs, also the partners. So the audience is quite mixed. The owners are here, managing directors are here, CIOs and CISO also are there. Let me start the first question about how has been all my esteemed panelists for last 2 quarters, your experience from COVID standpoint, from your business continuity planning standpoint. Start with Mr. Satyanarayan Kasturi first. He's the uh, I know most experienced person in this panel discussion.
Yeah, thank you, Sanjay. We all know that. I think when we are in at on 21st March, we thought it could be the 15 days FIR or 1 month FIR. So we thought we just give some temporary work from home solution and we started. But the month by month, now it's almost 10 months. We don't know again we will be normal in next 2 months or we need to wait till March. Nobody knows even today. But there is a hope. Okay, by from maybe from January we will be back to normal days now. But when we have started on March, we thought we will do some temporary arrangement, give some connectivity to some of the critical users and all. Slowly, these pain started growing by 1 month, 2 month, third month. Then there is a standstill in the operation. Your business started struggling, and there is no transactions in some of the real estate business and all. Lot of pains started coming to us, and how to address that. It's become a very big challenge and there is no solution even now for many of the areas like construction areas. If you allow labor how they behave, and it will be very difficult to stop them, and you cannot do construction work with 20-30% of labor. These
Hmm.
are the pains still we have. And allowing people from work from home. Sometimes initially it was a very encouraging and everybody happy to work from home, but it become slowly today it's painful to work from home. So these kind of things we are getting. Maybe we'll speak by after other for other question. But this is the main pains we have seen in these last 2 quarters.
Okay, Ajay ji, what has been your experience so far? Are you? happily going about, or what has been so far?
So it was a good learning experience as such, and it was a testing time for our entrepreneurial skills.
Yeah.
Both the things were there simultaneously. We suffered.
Hmm.
Uh, Quarter 1 was all a time where we used to respond to the situation. So Q1 was, of course, means by end of March we got into this pandemic attack, and we were all trying to see how to respond to the situation, and we were all keen on getting out of it ASAP. When we were
Hmm.
saying that we were responding to our systems and processes, similarly our customers were responding to the their situation, and they were asking us too many things, all of a sudden. And there was a sudden demand for laptops, sudden demand for a, VDI kind of a implementation, collaboration tools, a lot many things that the customer kept on demanding, which probably at that scale we were not prepared for. So Q1 was a very busy quarter for all of us.
Hmm.
Q2 things started slightly recovering, where the customer has got into something where they are comfortable to make sure their business operations are on, and they were keen on starting their business operations slowly and steadily back on track, but they were not fully geared up at a
Hmm.
100% level. And that is where I felt that the customer uh, starting recovering from that shock of pandemic. That's how the Q2. But now that the Q3 has started, and we are all now geared up to manage the entire business operations smoothly, I think now it's a time for all of us to thrive for it and go for it to make sure that next 2 quarters, because that's going to be our year end, and we
Hmm.
want to have a huge year ahead,
Hmm.
year end bang, what we say. We all should be looking forward for that. So that's it from my side.
All right, I'll move to Mr. Rishi Agarwal. From his perspective, how has been his journey for last 2 quarters?
Yeah, thanks, Sanjay. So, you know, in our industry, we being in business process management industry, and work from home, or preparing ourselves to
Hmm.
deliver, or
Okay.
making our revenue generating staff to deliver. Uh, eh, so we are governed by various different things. Though, uh, we were already preparing ourselves for, to enable work from home for our folks.
Mhm.
However, all of a sudden, this pandemic strike happened, and before even we could think, or uh, you know, uh,
It was
when
an
you get into
ambush
the,
actually. It was no
yeah.
strike, it was an ambush.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, we were thinking about how to deliver on our business commitment,
Hmm.
and our industry is governed by some regulatory requirement from Department of Telecommunication, Government of India. We have various, especially security related requirement from our clients from various geographies we operate in. So all that has to be in place, and we have very huge manpower based in India, which is approximately 60,000 people. To enable them to work from home, and we operate like in voice space, non-voice space, meeting all these security requirement, ensuring that the connectivity at home is stable. Though, our basic infrastructure has already been in place, because for our shared services staff, for IT people, for other folks, you know we were already working from home per se.
Hmm.
But when this happened, there was a need to to keep the things going, and to make sure that our revenue generating staff is able to deliver. Though we were able to catch up very fast in terms of getting ourselves ready. We worked very closely with the Government of India, Department of Telecommunication. We worked with our clients, and especially we deal in all sort of uh, client type. So each client has got different requirement, and for some of the clients, even when we operate from B&M model, so they have very strict security guideline.
Mm.
So meeting those challenges and giving comfort to client that when we are allowing work from home, how we will meet those requirement. uh, Also establishing secured channel between our uh, resources working at home and our office. So all these were the challenges, and we had overcome all these challenges you know without wasting much of time.
Mm.
And we had already started. So I would say journey had been very interesting, quite learning, as well as some things which we had been planning for 1 year or 2 year, we were able to deliver within 10 days.
Excellent.
So
Congratulations.
yeah, things went pretty well,
Mhm.
and so far it has been a great learning experience, I would say.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Venkat Murthy, your experience so far, how has it been for 2 quarters? Before that, if you can a little bit tell about why are you writing Prime Mover than the CMD or CEO or something like that?
I think Amrish no answers better than me, looks like.
Okay. Anyways.
First of all, Sanjay, thanks for making me part of this eminent panel, and very happy to be part of this. Uh, Before answering your question, I'd like to say why prime mover, right? So we are all first generation entrepreneurs, right? Whatever we
Okay.
do, we wanted to be a little more, catchy, right? So I also wanted to be a little away from the conventional, designation like CEO, MD, and stuff like that. I'm nothing against, but I just want to be little like if you see my company name is 22/7. Our team names are Team Alpha, Team Omega, Team Zeta, and so we just followed a different pattern to our designations also. Like you see a lot of designations like chief business catalyst,
Mm, mm.
customer success, a lot of things we follow. So
Right.
I'm just browsing through, if you see any these humongous large mechanical part, there's small thing called prime mover, which basically ignites the energy, right? It's the initial source of energy. So I
Uh-huh.
thought, let me have that. It was very catchy. And first thing, that is one thing. And second thing, wherever I go, they'll ask me why prime mover. I think it's more of a mind share initiative. So that's one of the reason I went for you know
Absolutely. So thinking differently. Go ahead, please.
yeah. So that's one thing. So when it comes to the experience, I would say it's very funny, right? As Mr. Satyanan rightly said, we are all felt that it's going to be a very short term affair. Then slowly things started becoming more serious.
Mm.
A lot of pressure coming from customers. When I say pressure, they also have their own deadline. They also their own SLAs to meet. More than SLAs, it's about their business continuity, right? So while they're catching up, so they were expecting a lot of help. As I said, the smallest thing like one dongle to be delivered in one of the location where we don't have a permission to go, but then we have to talk to police. We have to take a special permission, especially for hospitals and stuff like that. So while that is happening, the other bigger challenges are your own employees, right?
Mm.
They were clueless what's happening. They just wanted to to ensure that we trust their confidence, that then only you'll be able to support our customers in a much better manner. So we had to do our town hall quickly, tell everyone don't worry, we are there, whether we win together or lose together, kind of a messaging as to go in. I think that's sort of the we even when the beginning of the pandemic, we have been we have certified as a great place to work. That sort of helped us to really deal with our employees. I think it's been a mixed thing, and as Mr. Satyanarayan rightly said, we hope that by next quarter things will come back. We are eager to go back to our offices and start working.
Mm.
Okay, that is one thing. But then the positive sides is that we also now know that we can work remotely. That sort of gave us the confidence that yes, we can
Absolutely. Yeah.
we can work remotely. also meet our SLAs and customer satisfaction. I think we have seen drastically customers are happy the way we are supporting them online and stuff like that. Except that people angle, physical angle, but the rest everything is getting as usual, right? It's coming back to normal.
All right.
The,
Okay, okay, thank you. So Amrish, I'll come to you on this point also, but in a different way. You have been at the top. You have been, catalyst for all these plannings, business continuity planning, disaster recovery. So in these 6 months, how has been your experience from a customer point of view, from a partner point of view? What has been your journey? How have you gone out and helped them in their, business continuity?
So thank you everyone for this opportunity. I think my favorite phrase is always change is the only constant, right? And this change is also not going to be the same, right? We have changed over a period of time. I think we will also change further. As Kasturi sir said that by December, January, hopefully by February, if not, things will be back to normal, and we'll see again that there will be a change within ourselves, right from working from home to now go back to office and adopt a change for us, right? So having said that, I think two things are changing big time as I view. Is first is that workplace itself. It's not going to be the same. I think enough has been spoken on that. That workplace will change a lot, which means a lot more different technologies will come in. It can be whether Ajay talked about VDI or any other one. Those new technologies will come. Collaboration tools will come in. So it's from a customer interaction perspective, a lot thing will change. I'm sure Rishi will understand because they are facing the customer who are pretty much on the remote side. None of their customers sits in India. Or Kasturi sir will talk about even in the construction and how do I interact with various customers. Can be the first time, might be a physical meeting, but going forward, all the meetings can be virtual, right? So those are some of the changes which we will see coming up now. But having said that, I think to tie this everything, I think what matters, whether it's a VDI technology or a collaboration tool, right? We use Zoom, Teams, WebEx, everything. Data will start residing over there. And a challenge for every organization will be that how do I have a single view of that data and how do I manage and protect that? That's going to be a bigger and bigger issue for CIOs like Kasturi sir and Rishi.
All right. Now, there is a second phase of pandemic. European Union, you can see they are under lockdown. We are, of course, lot many things are happening here. Numbers are growing, but then keeping our business interest in mind, definitely we are opening up. But you never know what is going to happen tomorrow. So my next question is to Mr. Kasturi. What are the risks that the company is likely to face or facing from business continuity point of view, looking at this pandemic? As we discussed, I opened up, said that your data is in different places, and data is oil, data is business today, isn't it? For you, for me, for Mr. Venkat, or for that matter, for Amrish also.
Yeah, a couple of points. One thing is that when we are talking about the pandemic situation, work from home, only for the technology guys, most of only few functions are okay to work from home. But we have two manufacturing companies.
Okay.
For both the companies, it's very difficult to do the work from home.
Absolutely.
When we started approval for 10%, 30%, it became very difficult to arrange a community because these companies, manufacturing units in the MIDC area kind of thing, it will be very difficult to arrange a transportation with the new rules. And once they enter the office, and nowadays people even worry to have their biometrics attendance. Attendance become challenge, and work shop floors and all. You cannot have there is a places they cannot work with a mask because it's a very the area is also very difficult area. Production is going on, and the air oxygen will be very low there. So these are all the challenges we have seen practically in the phase 2, phase 3 and all. Secondly, when it comes to the operation, you see surprisingly this pandemic exactly come in the month of March. So from April and May, for every company, there is a financial closing, book closures happening. Second thing, AGMs you need to complete. You need to do the board meeting. These are all in a very difficult phase. And audit you need to complete statutory audit. So we have faced a lot of difficulty, but we have found a way to address that. And second thing, when finally we are talking about the end user data or security of the data, this is a very key point. When the day we have allowed 100 people work from home, and it become a challenge, so we activated VPN profiles and all. But and we have implemented DLP also. So once we implemented DLP, and sometimes it became very difficult to control that. So some of the finance guys need to take the trial balance, and they need to give some. The legal department need to give some data to lawyers and all, and we are forced to give access to the endpoint. It become very difficult. Then slowly we build the policies like that, even approval processes. We build the workflows for the approval processes. But it took almost 4 months to reach a stage where hustle-free community data transfers and all. But endpoint backup have a lot of problems. We are not able to do all endpoint backup when they're working from their homes, because this working from home, many people do on a dongle or a local internet, and it will be very difficult. But somehow we failed, and then after June, we requested employees at least to come on a 1 day to office, and all the only critical users, and they need to be connected to our network and taking backup and all. But still, we feel there is a data issue. Suppose some employee intentionally trying to do something, then the threat still open.
All right, same question to Rishi, but from a different perspective. What is your assessment from the new business continuity risks? Those which have been the traditional ones, data has been, as we discussed, even Mr. Kasturi said, a critical point. Data leak is the biggest one of the biggest ones. So, what are the new ones? Challenges from the data BCP point of view.
Yeah. So, when this all pandemic started, so it was a PCP only when we allowed the business to continue by enabling resources to work from home. And there are risks from different angles. There is a complete shift from work culture perspective. When you come to office, it is a different environment, different mindset. When you work from home, it is pretty different. And also, in our industry, we have very young people working for us, and they come from various cities and various different part of the country. So basically they live in rented accommodation, shared accommodation, and for them to work from those places is not so straightforward. So and when those resources, those users have access to some very confidential information, so definitely you need to make sure that all the security controls are in place. Security at the endpoint is of utmost priority.
Okay.
And because all those machines are connected with the internet, then you need to make sure that you have all those sort of controls in place from all three, like people, process, technology. Also the data which you are accessing, it also need to be safe, accessible, and only to authorized person. So when you work from office, the data, either reside within your office or nowadays, it can be in cloud.
Mhm.
Also, how you are able to uh, keep your data safe, secure. Uh, Also, the challenge is some of your key staff members are not able to, travel to office to work. So you should make sure that all the, their all the enablement has been done for them to have access to your key infrastructure. I'm talking about especially IT, fraternity. Then you have some other uh, very key, other staff members, other departments.
Mhm.
So the challenge is multifold, and uh, availability of the data, ensuring that the productivity quality is delivered, due security is in place. And nowadays, you must have heard about so many, ransomware,
Yeah.
malware attack.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that.
Yeah.
So let me ask the same question, Ajay. Savant has been in this domain for a long time. Giving consultancy, giving solutioning to the customers, even in the peer groups. So, what has been his thought process while putting out any kind of solution from the new risk point of view? We know what are the risks available. What are your optimism? I mean, prescription for that.
Sure. Sanjay, when we look at the business continuity
Mm,
management perspective,
mm.
we look at it we cover it from the five different perspectives.
Okay.
Of course, the first is IT infrastructure, where people aware that the IT infrastructure has to be uh, ready and sufficient enough to take care of people working remotely. So
Mhm,
that's the first thing. Second is all the cyber threats which we all have from on our applications and data. So that's the second thing which we take care of. The third risk is of the employee risk, the health of the employee, which we need to take care of when we are going through the challenges like pandemic. The employee risk is a major risk to their health, so we need to take care of the risk of the employees.
mhm,
Fourth is of course the business operations, which is very very important, because the business operation has to be smooth and it has to be continuous, so that we do not have any break in the business. And
mhm,
fifth and most important risk that I feel is a communication risk, the way we communicate with each other. So because lot of time what happens is any negative thought or negative communication which comes into mind, you know makes a lot of difference when we talk to the customer. So we need to set up a mechanism of communication with employees very positively, and it's not only with the employees but even our OEMs, distributors, partners, customers, suppliers, all authorities. We need to have a positive communication with all the people that associated with it. But what is more important is having secured applications and data to the employees from wherever they are operating from, because most of the employees not necessarily worked in Mumbai. They will go to their native places
right.
when such things happens. And in India typically, remote, the way you go remote, the internet bandwidth becomes a challenge.
Mm,
Now with the smallest bandwidth, how you can able to make sure that he accesses your various applications like ERP or a mails or a CRM, very difficult challenge. And after that, he's having access to your data. Now that's the biggest threat.
mm,
Okay, how you are able to give him an access at his house or at his village, and still it has to be secured. So that's the biggest risk that we always see. And of course there are cyber threats which are there. We all hear this and read in the newspaper about this, uh, which is the biggest risk I see in current scenario.
okay. Amrish, what is in your mind from a newest threat perspective or criticality perspective?
from a business continuity or a DR perspective, if you ask me, I think more important for whether it is a customer or a partner. Even our partners have suffered a big time during the pandemic time, in a sense that at least 2 to 3 months, everybody has to work from home. How do I don't have access to my data center. How do I move the applications from my currently, which is located in data center, to some other colo location, or it can be even a cloud. So there are multiple challenges which everybody has faced. But that's where I think Veeam has made the journey also green in terms of moving the applications from on-premises to cloud, and sometimes even from cloud.
Amrish, I think we lost you. Yeah. Amrish, for a bit we lost you. If you can repeat the last sentence.
Yeah, so I said that typically this pandemic has created issues not only for customers but also for the partners.
Absolutely.
Whether that engagement issue, or it can be even you look at moving their data centers. Partner also has a ERP. It's not only customer has a ERP. So operating those ERP in an efficient manner and giving a seamless access to that. And I can't open up that ERP for everyone. So how do I manage that data also is a bigger challenge for everybody.
Okay. Now we are talking about challenge. We have got a couple of questions already. So let me take the questions. So let's make it interactive. The first question is from Mr. Tejas. Security of company data and privacy of employees are interlinked. Your thoughts? So who is going to answer this? Kasturi sir. Company data and privacy of employees are interlinked. What are your thoughts?
Yes. So that's why I said that when initially it was very happy to work from home, but slowly it started the killing the privacy of the personal life and all. So one, and the second thing, the data. When I'll tell you personally, initially when we started work from home, we don't have that many laptops at office, so we requested employees to use their personal laptops or desktop, whatever they have home. So then this challenge is there. How can you restrict their computer for working from the company? So then the policy immediately we have BYOD policy we brought in, and we given that policy, and then the separation of the company data and having the data backup and all. Actually, DLP will help us a lot.
Okay.
You need to have a proper DLP and with proper rules and regulation. Then you will not you will come out from these issues.
All right. Now things are changed. Companies regulations are changed. Compliances are also changing. So
Right.
the policies and SOP, everything is going to be changed going forward and gradually changing. Before I ask my question, let's take another question around that. It's from Akshay Sharma. What are the changes in data backup policy pre and post COVID-19? What are the best guidelines for data backup in near future, which will help us to handle pandemic like situation? Venkat, if you can attempt this one. You can see this one also on the questionnaire. It's from
Try to
Akshay
attend. Please is
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I think most of the people have covered this point. So the most
Yeah.
important point is that more and more work from, I won't say work from home, work from anywhere is happening. It's extremely critical that data is very close to the person where he's working, right? So that sort of opens up a Pandora box for all the hackers and attackers to ensure that data is not safe. That's where products like Veeam and stuff like that comes into picture. I think I've seen one of the question on the ransomware, right? Well, I'm not saying it's 100% protection, but I have seen a lot of people using backup softwares, especially Veeam for the ransomware kind of attacks. Amrish, you have to, maybe you can add to it.
I will.
Yeah. So certain algorithms, certain pattern recognition features of Veeam make sure that the moment it finds that some data is suspicious, it stops backing up. So what it's doing eventually is it's stopping the spread of the ransomware. So while its measures are very small, but they are very, very effective in terms of ensuring that the spread of ransomware is sort of taken care. I have seen companies, we are dealing with the companies where they are sitting today, they're starting their digital journey platform. Let me tell you, I have a very interesting, analysis. While the pandemic gets over, the vaccine comes, 52.44%, 52.4, percentage of Fortune 500 companies are saying that only in Q1 2022 they're going to come back, which means this issue is going to stay. The work from home, work from anywhere is going to stay, which means the problem to secure your data is going to stay. So better be friends with Amrish to ensure that your data is secure, right? I mean, jokes apart, but so it's important to deal with the data. So I've seen a lot of companies coming out with a digital native strategy to how do we ensure data is first of all available, how do we secure, how do we ensure that it is protected. Of course, the protection is part of the compliance, right? So ensure the data privacy, each guy, they have their own norms and stuff like that. So for me, the most important thing is having a clear cut agenda in terms of what is that has to be. I've started discussing with the company saying that next their board is now very much interested in ensuring that what is the digital strategy for next 12 to 18 months. Some of the manufacturing, some of the ITS companies, some of the pharma companies, in fact, we're trying to make a presentation for them to ensure that we are part of their digital strategy framework. So it's important that as an individual, as a system integrators, as a customer, to know their priorities, what data has to be secured, because you can't do everything at a time, right? It has to be in a very like small measures, like I said, ransomware, maybe as Satyanarayana sir said, it's a what you call a DLP. Some people are really going to cloud, going to go for cloud security. Some people are coming back from cloud, right? So I think we should have short term, medium term, long term strategy, and have a products which are extremely scalable, which has got to play at the end, which has got to play at the data center, which has got to play at even at the cloud, because today cloud bus is really becoming the most important activity, right? They're going up and down from the cloud to on-prem and stuff like that. So the orchestration layer plays a major role. I think we have to keep everything in view in order to ensure that we are hoping that 99%. I'm not saying this is going to get you 100% foolproof solutions. At least 99% we are there. At least we know what's wrong, what's happening. So it's more of what you call monitoring kind of a scenario, where at least once we know what is happening, you are there to protect the data and ensure that data is available and data is secure.
Okay, Amrish, you want to, go ahead.
I think question was what will also change on the backup policy, right? And one of the things which I think we saw big time is that people wants to get away from tape, and people realize now that they are missing their SLA. The reason why they are missing their SLA is because there is no one who can go and take a tape backup. How do I move that from his data center to an offsite location? It's a physical movement. How do I do that? So they are missing that, and that's where people said that now can we use as a cloud tier and just do a backup instead of a copy on a tape? Can I do it on a cloud side? I think this changed. So three copies of data, one into a different media and an offsite. All that 3, 2, 1, and one more I would like to add as a 0 is that 100% recoverability, 0 error-free data backup. These are the policies which people have now started really deploying it, and cloud is playing an important role over there.
Okay. Also, Amrish, 0 backup window. I mean, that is also becoming a very important thing, right? They just want to go to point in time within no time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just to add to this point, only backup. Actually, practically, I faced a problem. Our data center gone down 3 times in these 7 months. So there is one time there is a huge heavy rains in the area. Second time there is a power cut. So all of a sudden everything is collapsed in the midnight. So 2 times it's happened, and it became very difficult to arrange resources. And nearby we don't have resources. My resources, 80% of the resources very far from the office. So it became very difficult to come back. Once you started restart and while doing, there is issues with the switches, firewalls, everything. There is a corruption happened in the software also. So these are all very difficult to manage. So DC becoming painful today. to manage a DC, it's become very painful. And this kind of situation, you don't have resources, nearby resources, you cannot go to office for longer time, and it's a big challenge.
So in that case, Kasturi, I'm just asking you, the SOP that we have, you are maintaining, is it going to be rewritten, revisited very quickly?
Yes, actually, see, this we already started. Actually, our BCP plan started while doing sometime back, maybe not because of pandemic, it is because of the one is that when we want to have a DR in place, for that time it was a thought process of having BCP. Then the cybersecurity insisted us to have a BCP policy in place. Now it become more and more useful, and you need to tighten your policy and have a proper structure. Actually, the designing of BCP itself is a big challenge. You need to decide each and every, maybe suppose you say email, how many hours you can survive without email? That is your first line, and first your digitize your BCP. Based on that, you need to plan your resources. You cannot even 15 minutes without email. That means you need to plan your email backup, you may email the DR and all. Same way, so your business, suppose you are into more into sales, how long you can, if you don't have SAP or you don't have any other system for billing, how long you can survive without your systems? Suppose your SAP gone down, whether how you can do your business? You need to have a DR and all. So each and every area, like purchase area, how long you can survive. So each and every area you need to have a digital chart for your BCP. Then only your BCP will be fulfilled. With that plan, you need to have agree with the business stakeholder. Now you need to have a plan. Then you need to have resources for that. All of a sudden, your SAP is gone down in the Mumbai. That means if your sales cannot wait for a day, then you need to start your DR in a 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that. These are all things you need to have a digital chart in place to you run your business.
All right. So before we move to the next question, let me just run a poll. Let's see what you are also included, all the panelists to answer that. I mean, to participate in that poll. So we are trying to understand 30 seconds poll. I'm just closing it here. Let me see. Okay. So this question was around what are the business continuity planning challenges? Multiple choice, of course, people clicked on more than one option. So the biggest one is identify threat and vulnerability. So cyber security is the biggest one. Maybe a DLP situation or other external source where attacks are coming. And the second one is lack of training and business continuity awareness. So I suggest the second one. What is your suggestion, Ajay ji? Out of this result, what do you suggest? Which one is the biggest one, critical one?
So the most important is unidentified situations that we never take into a considerations.
Okay.
Most of the time, whenever we have situations like this, we are not aware about what's going to happen next. We are not aware about the government policies, how they are going to shape up, and how that's going to impact your business operations. Most of the time, unavailability of the information based on the various aspect of our business
Mhm.
matters a lot in such scenario. And of course the regulations, we need to keep on updating us on the various regulations from the various regulatory bodies, and that makes us more and more aware about it.
Okay. Anybody has any say on this? Amrish, do you also agree? Because training is something, the awareness and training is the critical part. What we must offer. I mean, it has to be manifold into the market. There has to be so many hands into the market.
I think even the process plays an important role here.
Oh yeah,
What
yeah.
we need to follow.
Mm.
This has, I always say that business continuity planning was always looked at as a disaster recovery or a fire or anything. I think pandemic has taught us that pandemic can be one of the business continuity as an example of that.
Okay, all right then. So I'm stopping this one. Okay, when it comes to the compliance, the regulation is probably will be changing. I used to talk, I'm also talking now global CIOs or global community, not only in India, in UAE, in Asia Pacific, every one of the opinion that the regulations are going to change very quickly. So compliances are going to change very quickly. Uh, so are you also of that opinion, Risiji?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. With the changing need, changing work environment,
Mm-hmm.
definitely, regulatory bodies are also working to be in tandem with what is required now.
Mm-hmm.
We know GDPR came, you know, couple of year ago.
Okay.
Indian privacy, that is also in way on our way.
Mm-hmm.
And not only data privacy, data security, regulation from other aspect also. If we talk about India, like government changed some OSP related regulation, keeping in mind the changing need. So earlier to operate, at home, there were certain regulations. Now these are changed. So, uh, regulatory bodies are also working. The government bodies are, keeping an eye on the prevailing conditions,
Mm.
future needs, so that it satisfies the need of the hour.
Okay. 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 So same question in a different way, Ajay ji. What is the challenge? What kind of challenge you are observing in the market to keep themselves compliant, regulatory compliant?
Okay. So, Sanjay ji, the challenge is, we need to manage customers'
Mhm.
trust because that's our core priority in any kind of a business. And when you have to manage customer trust, it comes from all these regulatory compliances which we need to fulfill at the customer end. As Rishi mentioned that yes, European Union has come out with a general data protection regulation,
Mm.
and that's going to be a talk of every customer who has an office or a branch in Europe. Okay, means those customers are now struggling to go for a data protection regulation, which is a key thing for them. Because if you have to do business in the European countries, then EU has made it mandatory for them to have all this regulation. But in India, how many people know about these regulations? And that's the knowledge on that, the training on that has become something which is more important, because finally with every rise of cyber attacks, okay, any breach that causes, it causes a significant damage to protect data and to ensure governance and compliance. And that is why I feel that the compliance is something which is more and more important for a partner to understand from the customer perspective and deploy those regulatory compliances at the customer end.
Mm-hmm. Kasturi, same question. You are seeing, we are at home. I mean, most of the people, except a few verticals, organizations, those who are mandated to work from their offices. But sitting at home, how to implement those compliances? Whatever applicable to individual vertical of market.
See, a couple of things that where initially when we started that we know we are taking risk.
Mm.
There is many areas actually. We have actually had a board meeting with the stakeholders, including the senior management, we have identified what are the potential risks we are going to face in this. So it is accepted because see, I cannot say that I will not allow somebody from working from home on his own personal laptop. If I want to do if I want to allow him, if I don't want to allow him, I need to buy a laptop. So it is it even you cannot spend a lot of money on that. And I want to switch to VDI, and even I thought that day I want to switch to VDI or some other solution. I need a budget and I need a team. I need a resource to work from office, which is not possible at all. So potential risks have been identified. We have updated our risk register, and it is been approved. And lot many things nowadays, as a listed company, we have two listed company. Even when we are closing our office for longer time, we need to inform to the exchanges or boards like that. So statutory bodies we need to inform. All these things actually government is updating to our company secretaries regularly, and we are following that. 80% of all the listed companies has to follow the certain regularity. So there you cannot avoid it. You just need to inform them in time, and that communication has to follow. Second thing, when it comes to individual, the organization asset is the data. So protecting them is becoming a challenge.
Okay. Okay.
So first thing, see where I cannot suppose I need to protect the data, but I cannot do that. What is the option we have is only having a risk register and having in the remote audit kind of thing, and prepare all the points. Actually, we have prepared in these 6 months time. We have done our internal auditor, done the assessment, multiple assessments remotely. It's not possible, and they have given the report to the management. A few days back, we have a AGM also. So we have highlighted this risk. We have no options to do that. But and if you want to come out from this, and you need to have huge technology, huge budget for the technology and all, which is even not possible today to invest. So, so accepting risk is one of the major point from the our business stakeholders point.
Okay, one question from Vikas Gupta, not exactly related to the compliance, but then similar to it about data privacy in hybrid model of work and home and work from home. So what is the definition? How will you companies define data privacy in these three environments? Mr. Kasturi.
Yeah. So see, that's what privacy. The data privacy is very important. But today, when we are mixing up your personal and official work together and asking them to work on their BYOD, and you need to give, you are taking the risk from the organization point of view. So today, I think we don't have any 100% proper solution to comply to that. But we now it's the challenge now. Maybe we need to talk to the vendors like VM and all the VDA providers and all. We need to come out and we need to have proper solutions in board. And this is the time that we need to have that in place.
Okay. So I'm coming to now.
Please
Please go ahead.
take this question slightly differently.
Okay, great.
Let's understand the customer environment. And Vikas has a question where he's saying that, how the customers will able to operate and how their data is protected when they work from home or when they work from office. Okay, the question is, look at how your applications and data has been spread across, because your data is spread at your edges. When we say edge means on your laptop or a desktop that you are working from home or office, whether that data is there in your data center, which is on-premise data center, or whether that data is on your application which is sitting on cloud, or whether that application itself is a SaaS application, and you are actually like Salesforce, which is a CRM application where the data is on the SaaS. Wherever the data is, whether it's on-premise data, cloud data, or on your SaaS applications, which are like O365, Microsoft Office 365, or Salesforce, wherever the data is lying, you can able to take care of that data in terms of backup or DR through the softwares like Vim, which will able to help you out to make sure that your data not only gets protected, but it can be actually made it data privacy in terms of your personal data and official data. So you can able to differentiate the same PC, you can able to utilize it through various MDM devices, mobile device management softwares, by which we can able to segregate, the access of data, and they do not talk to each other when it's an official work and a personal work. So Veeam will definitely take care of data which is spread across the board, which is like cloud, on-premise, SaaS, or on edge, wherever it is there. So Veeam will able to take care of it. To segregate between your official data and personal data, you need to have mobile device management tools which you can able to use it out.
All right, so we spoke about the SOP, we spoke about compliance also. Now it's about planning a robust business continuity and management system. I'll come to Venkat here. Venkat, your opinion, what is the kind of framework companies should follow in terms of BCMS? If you can highlight some of the points there, you must be suggesting to the customers, isn't it?
Sanjay, it while it's a very generic question, but the approach towards business continuity would change from a customers to customer, right?
Hmm.
So each client, each vertical has a different approach towards it. But
Okay.
one thing is for sure that all the companies in last 3-4 months where we are discussing, they are ensuring that availability of data, they are directly relating to the business continuity. That's the most important activity which they are trying to work.
Hmm.
Maybe back it up, you ensure that doesn't get affected. Number one. Number two, they have to have a connectivity to the uninterrupted connectivity, okay, to ensure that there is a if not greater productivity, but they should ensure that productivity doesn't really fall down.
Hmm.
And they are now ensuring to work on more of a collaboration tool, so that the phase lot we have seen last 1 or 2 months, to ensure that people are really working, how do we ensure that seamless data flow, so that the decision making sort of becomes much more easier, right? And the productivity is sort of, because we cannot keep complaining about pandemic, we have to live with it, we have no choice now, right? So we have to ensure that these three angles, right, that is what I said, the robust IT infrastructure, IT policy, right, makes much more meaningful, keeping next 3 to 5 years of horizon in mind. That's where you see people are working. That is where the business continuity coming. And second thing is, now gone are those days. People are talking about future, foolproof solutions. I think people are looking for a future-ready solution. There's nothing like
Right.
foolproof. Nobody expected that pandemic will come and sort of
Hmm.
leverage all your foolproof mechanism.
Hmm.
So I think we have seen, see, as I said, a lot of people are decided to come back from cloud. A lot of people are going to cloud, right? We've seen a lot of people are moving cloud. They're very particular about which application should go on to cloud, right? There are some, in between there are decisions I've taken just to reduce cost, that because business continuity not just a technology, right? It's beyond technology. You have a technology, you have a process, you have a people, you have a cash flow. So you've seen a lot of people are coming back from cloud to the on-prem with a 6 months window. Again, they wanted to go back because of the it all depends from a customer to customer. But what I'm saying is, as a partner, as a vendor, as a customer, having a detailed planning session, initial whiteboarding, that's what we have been doing to ensure that we are part of their decision making, will only get us to a proper business continuity kind of a solutions, keeping especially 3 to 5 years horizon in mind.
Okay, Ajay ji, do you have any perspective on this? Any?
Surely. So when we talk about BCMS framework, it is nothing but a methodology and planning process for managing disruptions like pandemic.
Hmm.
So when we are talking about a methodology, there are a lot many things that we need to take into consideration, like workplace modernization. Now the people are not going to work from office; they are going to work from various available resources, and we need to understand their workplaces. So you have to take into consideration like basic IT infrastructure need or a connectivity needs, and connectivity differs from place A to place B. So we need to understand that what kind of a different connectivity avenues available to the employees or the customers. Second is, how is your DR place, whether the disaster recovery is there, how you are secured, how much is your resiliency from all the cyber attacks. When you're exposing your applications and data to employees outside your data center, there is of course a big threat to your application and data, and cyber attacks are how you are protecting yourself from that. And that is what I say, it's a BCMS framework that you need to prepare and make sure that you have been protected from that. And more importantly, how fast you work on that, the agility piece, which is the most important thing, because you need to respond to a situation which is unfortunate for all of us.
All right, moving
Need to
from,
add
yeah,
one. I
yeah,
mean,
please go ahead.
when it comes to compliance, while they look independent islands, but end of the day, they are all part of your business continuity, right?
Mm,
After we have seen a lot of emphasis given on once you have a compliance, either by design, either by your respective government is asking you to abide by the particular compliance, or your competition, or your clients, or whatever. So you are going, and it also depends on your risk appetite. But a lot of late we have seen a lot of people wanted compliance to be they have to ensure that their employees are adhere to the compliance. In fact, they're asking us, because that they are directly relating to the business continuity, because the moment they know that they are not compliant, there are huge penalties on them, right? So we have seen a huge purge in inquiries in terms of how do I ensure that there is a business, the compliance being ensured by the
mhm,
the employees, because 90% of the breaches happens to the employees which are not without malified intentions. Once they
mm.
cover, you sort of taken care of the major chunk, and you deal with the other things at leisure, or you keep on working with the other 10% of the what do you call, the employees, or whoever is with the malified intention, or from
Okay,
outside.
fair enough. So now moving from business continuity planning, now security. Now ransomware is one of the biggest threats. Everybody recognizes it. Once it goes into your backup, that goes, circulates from primary to DR, and then the disaster happens. Uh, this question is for Amaris. What is your opinion, Amaris? How do you see we are going completely into, gradually, we are going from completely into cloud mode, digital transformation taking place drastically. Looking at this pandemic, digital is the only journey that every organization need to have. So data privacy, ransomware, all are on stake. Uh, what should be the backup then, strategy? Is it, should it be on cloud, on premise? um, how to do it? How do should you go automatic? If you are doing it automatic, automation, you are bringing in automation, then there is chance that the attack vector grows high. If it is manual, then the process is slow. Amrish, your take on this?
Yeah. So ransomware is always like you always have a virus in your body. You don't know when it's going to.
Absolutely.
So pretty much like that. And uh, I think Veeam is doing excellent work on the ransomware protection. And that's where the immutable backup is going to be a big and key differentiator for every customer. Immutable backup doesn't mean that it has to be only on premises or on cloud. It can be anywhere. Immutable storages are there. Immutable storages on premises, immutable storages on, whether it's an object storage like S3 compatible, or it can be Glaciers, or it can be an Azure Blob also. Yeah. So I think long-term archival, people can look at depending upon data size, depending upon the rate which they can negotiate with the cloud provider. And I think my only ask is that don't fight that battle alone. Our partners are there. They can work better way, and they can suggest betterly to the customers rather than you reinventing the wheel. They are doing this day in, day out with every customer. So they know how much data should be on a cloud, how much data should be on premises. I think they can tell us really well. That's first. The second thing is also about automation, which is there. I personally feel is that it has to be automated because and that's where the scripts comes in, or a run book comes in, and I think we are doing that work phenomenally well as compared to anyone else. That how do I automate between DC DR, between
Mhm.
something archived on premises, how do I move that to a long-term archival on a cloud? I think those are some of the things which we do it really, really well. But ransomware, the only way you can do is immutable backup. And once that is done, also about giving the testing environment itself. I think we can carve out, we can create a space, and then we will allow customers to do a test on it. The once that testing is done and then they know it, that it really works really, really well, then they can restore the whole applications in a sequential manner.
Yeah, I want to just add a point to the, even today, if we are thinking of on-prem, having something on-prem, then that will be definitely, it is not right decision. Today, actually, after this much of experience, we should definitely think of cloud only. Maybe, see, when there's a budget issue, there could be performance issues, but having, you are not able to reach your office, you are not able to go to your office for a longer time. I don't know when we are going to end the second wave, third wave, what's going to come. So it is not suggestible to go for something on-prem at this moment. That's what I can suggest.
Well, related to that, you have a question for you. It's from our good friend Abdul Rafi. Abdul Rafi, confidentiality, integrity, availability are three pillars of information security. During this pandemic situation, while we all are working from home, it's very difficult to maintain CIA as per the books. To maintain the business continuity, what is your views on this, Mr. Kasturi?
Yeah, it's that I think sometime back I addressed with this. This is actually risk, known risk. You are taking the risk.
Okay.
So you have to. So you need to update your risk register, and you need to inform your compliance officer, and you need to accept that. So you have no other option when you are in a pandemic situation.
All right, so we have got some 5 minutes we can extend since we started little late. We can take two more questions and some other questions from the attendees. What is the type of audit or self-assessment can be done? If you can devote 1 minute each and answer self-assessment in terms of BCP. Kasturi sir.
Yes, self-assessments means we'll have IT internal audits every time. So you need to request your auditor to have verify that frequently. So see, definitely you are in a risk place, and you know the risks are there. First thing is that actually in this situation, one is not only cyber threats and all. You have phishing issues, and you need to first thing you need to ensure your business. Second thing, you need to give a confidence to your customer that you are doing the right business. And third thing, you are protecting your organization data, and that is your asset. While doing all these things, there is a new challenges are coming, new gates are opening. It is going to create a problem for you. First of all, these first thing, you more work on that way. What is the risk for your auditor? Definitely will help you to identify this because of your experience. Your internal and external auditor both will have a lot of questionnaires to address. Based on that, you need to tighten your cyber policies also, and you need to come out with the proper solution. But initially on the march, you don't management is also not expected any solution. But now, if you are not having solution, that is a problem. So that way we build the road. Even if I can tell you frankly, even we have 5 to 10% problems even today, and we are not able to address that. We have addressed more than 80 to 90 problems. Okay. So this way, you need to go. You need to go on this road. Wherever you have a problem, you need to resolve that and go forward.
All right. Same question to Rishi Agrawal. What is your suggestion on self-assessment?
Yeah. So, in addition to audit, whether by external agency or internal, so like what we have done, so we have internal checklist. You can call it self-assessment, and which is being followed, day in, day out.
So it's like pilot manual.
Yes.
Okay.
So it to make sure that nothing is missed out. And I believe in relaxing during the audit. So you do your hard work on daily basis, so that you don't need to worry during the audit.
All right. Ajay ji, Venkat, your suggestion on self-assessment things?
I think you pretty much covered. They are the end
Yeah.
users. They
Yeah,
know.
I think.
So I think only thing is the training makes a lot of difference in terms of ensuring that these things are taken care in a much better. Because it all depends, boils down to individual. When individual knows very easy, the know-how much better, then automatically the mistakes are much lesser. So I think
Okay.
they're pretty much covered.
Okay. Ajay ji, you have anything
Yeah,
on this?
more or less the same points that
Okay.
training and guidelines to employees is very important, so that they will not able to do any mistake during such time.
I think the last thing from my side, it has to be a continuous process.
Okay.
It cannot be only a periodic one. It has to be a continuous process so that we improve and even employee improve in that.
Okay, we have one more question. Let me take that question. A couple of questions now. During this pandemic situation, what is the robust remote working infrastructure, VDI implementation? Do you find cloud-based VDI or on-prem hosted VDI more performance-centric? Any learning or best practice in rolling out VDI? I think this can be taken by Kasturi Saab and yeah.
Ajay or Venkat can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suggested that it should be in the uncloud. You should not think of on-prem solution at this moment.
Okay.
Okay, so secured VDI is the best methodology to deploy in current scenario, so that the employees can able to access it from anywhere, whether it is from office, whether it's from home, or whether it's from even Starbucks. You can able to access it from wherever required, and it's a secured way of doing it. Even whether it's a on-premise or cloud, that's a choice given to the customer, because in pandemic situation, the most of the time getting IT infrastructure immediately becomes a problem, and that's how most of the VDI implementation in the month of April or May has happened on cloud. But everybody wants the custody of their own VDI, and they want to have it on in their premises, and that's how most of the customers have been doing this VDI implementation on premise as well. The best practices, yes, there are a number of best practices. We have been deploying these VDI solutions to various BFSI customers, where the data becomes much more critical and important, and the data privacy is a big issue there. So we have been doing this, and there are a lot of best practices that we can able to roll out while implementing VDI.
All right. So we are almost closing. We have a question for Amrish. How backup of Veeam is going to protect from ransomware attack, as other service providers telling they protect from ransomware attacks?
So I think I did answer that, right? The
Did you?
immutable backup. I think
Okay.
that's
Yes. But if you can repeat it, it's a question, because that time you are answering in a flow for something else.
yeah. No, so I think if it's a customer, he should talk to Veeam. We will provide the solution immediately to them.
Okay.
If it's a partner, please engage with us. We will tell you how to do it. But nevertheless, I think ransomware is very much, we can get rid of that. More important, I think we also need to make sure that the data which is getting backed up is ransomware free. And the third thing is also about, can I make an environment in such a way that we can test before we go and deploy the same backup into a production. So if these three things we can follow it, and Veeam can do that really well, now because it's a completely software centric solution and not hardware. And again, please keep in mind that your applications are no more now going to be only on premises. It's going to be in a hybrid world, which is on premises, cloud everywhere.
All right. So let us close this panel discussion. Before that, let me urge you guys to give maybe 30 seconds of your suggestion or advice to the attendees and the peer groups. Ajay ji, I'll start with from you.
So friends, these are challenging times, but consider it as an opportunity to create a differentiator, how you can differentiate your businesses. Uh, Biggest challenge is the managing productivity of employees and relationship at the customer end. We need to keep on educating the employees as well as customers. Please engage with employees and customers and emerge as a victorious business entrepreneur in future. Thank you.
All right, Amrish, I'm taking alphabetically now.
Okay.
There is no experience here. Huh? Closing remarks. Yeah.
So my view is that as it's a tough time, Ajay said, I think it's equally important that we remain in touch, and a lot more communication tools like making a simple video call rather than just making a phone call can help you to remove your frustration or to
Right.
look at ideas also.
Absolutely. Rishiji, your 30 seconds advice.
Yeah, so convert these challenges into opportunity. Stay healthy, both physically as mentally.
Okay. Excellent.
Stay in touch. I would say not physical distance, but not social distance. So
Okay.
let us, remain in touch with each other. Uh, that is the best mantra in these tough times.
Absolutely. Mr. Kasturi, your suggestion or your advice to
Yeah,
us.
yeah. We have seen all good days, bad days, and worst days. Now you should be ready for the good days. And the one thing that the objective of this entire panel discussion on the BCP, you should be 100% ready with your hand the BCP plan, and you should be ready with any challenge for your business. So you should stand by that. So BCP planning only will safeguard you.
All right, Venkat, your 30 seconds advice.
They've given all the advice. The only thing is take care of your own employees. They in turn take care of you by taking care of your customers. I think that's the most important thing. Be there at the customer when there's an issue, because people generally tend to go when things are very nice and no. I think just give that confidence, saying that we are there in your tough time, whether you solve the problem or not. I think you just to be there at the tough time. That sort of takes care of 90% of the issues. So I think
All
just be
right.
there.
Okay, thank you very much. But before I officially say you thank you, we have a lucky draw, a spin name wheel. So I'm playing that. Let's see who is the lucky winner for today. The panelists' name also are included in this list.
Wow.
Wow, what a change. Yeah, thank you.
This is Prerak Shah. Okay. Oh, congratulations, Prerak Shah. So you will get Amazon Echo from our end very soon. It will be shipped to your place. Thank you very much. And with this, we close this panel discussion. It has been excellent. Thank you all the panelists for taking out so much of your time, and looking forward to engaging with you in future times as well in other forums and discussions. All the attendees, thank you once again and stay safe. Bye bye for now. Maybe some other time
Thank
we
you.
will meet again. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you
Bye.
all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye
Thank you,
bye.
Ajay. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Most
Thank you.
youngest panelist. Thank you so much.